Okay, we've got a little bit of theory that we want to understand. It's not theory that I'm not going to bore you to death with all this theory, but there are certain concepts that we just want to get our head around and make sure that we understand them so that when we are running a financial feasibilities and we are trying to crunch numbers on projects, we understand how they all come together. So financial feasibility, property development financial feasibility, or development appraisal or development pro forma, they're all the same thing. They are all they all basically mean a financial feasibility study. And financial feasibility is very common everywhere else. I think development appraisals is more a UK term, and a development pro forma is more a US term. So that's the only difference. And every development that we are doing, we're trying to gather information. Well, every financial feasibility that we want to do, all we are trying to do is get as much information on costs and as much information as possible on the end value of what that development, when it's ready, will be sold for, or if it is going to be retained, what is it going to be, what can we actually rent it for, and what are the costs of holding it after it is done. So we're trying to determine all the costs that are that we will need to account for to go from the start of the project right all the way till the end. And at the end, when we reach the end, what can we actually sell it for? So let's look at different purposes. One of the main purposes for doing financial feasibility is to actually determine the value of the land. And this would help you answer questions like, what should you pay for the land, or what would be the highest best possible use for the land based on its zoning and the planning control it actually falls under. um, Things like, how high can you go, that is the maximum height for your development. For example, essentially the value of the land will change based on what you can fit on it, the things that you can put on it, which are again then determined by the local planning scheme or controls. Is there anything else on the land that you can actually sell that would also help you determine the value of the land? Because there are things like rock, trees, old house, sand, clay, gravel that you want, that is already on the site that you may be able to salvage and sell. And if you understand that this can be done, then you will account for that in your feasibility, because otherwise somebody else would be willing to pay a little bit more than what you are willing to pay for the land. Will the end product sell at a price you think after it is complete? Or it'll help you answer the question, will paying X amount of dollars for the land justify the end value of the townhouse or the apartment at Y price? So this is one of the purpose, which is to determine the value of the land. Now, here are the 4 reasons why your competition would be willing to pay more for the same land. First off, they know more than you do. For example, that is, they have determined the highest best possible use of the land better than you have. Or they know that they can sell the end product higher than what you can, than what you think that you can. That means they've got better knowledge of the market, of what the square meter rate for selling is, or what the square feet rate for selling is, um, or whatever the apartments or townhouses or whatever configuration of the product that they are planning to put together, they know more of what they can be sold for. So that's also very important for you to understand the market research, and for you to understand the market value of what you are actually going to develop and what you can actually sell it for. They have the right cost in their feasibility, or they can build it cheaper than what you think you can build it. So getting an accurate estimate of the costs is super important, because if you don't have these things right, they don't have to be they don't have to be conservative, they don't have to be over the top, they just have to be right. And the fourth reason is that they are delusional. More often than not, this you'll find that if you've done your research correctly, if you've done your numbers correctly, if you're sure of the cost that you're going to allow for, you'll find that most people who are willing to pay more for the same land haven't spent that time, or haven't done this course, and you will find that they're just being stupid, or they are banking on the fact that by the time they are ready to do the development, the value of the end product that they are planning on developing would have gone up significantly.